Hi, I'm Little Dan, and today I'm introducing you to the forking amazing world of Forky Forky. So, Forky Forky is a festival game invented in 2007 by guitarist Paul Templing, who you may recognise from a certain band. Now, we're making this video because very fucking few of you have played Forky Forky, and it forking shows. The rules! The rules, as set out by the first official regulations committee of Forky Forky, are the tools. The tools you need are 1 fork, 1 courgette. A cucumber is allowed, but it does have to be softened. And 2 to infinity billion players who must form in a circle. The courgette must be then placed into the middle of said circle. The fork must be entirely made out of metal, equally balanced, and has 4 prongs. All other forks are illegal. None of that. That's definitely wrong. That's not even a fork. To win the game of Forky Forky, you must achieve 1,000 points. This is only achieved by getting 1,000 Forky Forkies or erecting the fork in the courgettes. A Forky Forky is achieved when the fork lands in the ground at a 45-degree or greater angle.
Forky Forky. Forky Forky.
When the angle is disputed, a benefit of the doubt is given to the player, i.e. if it looks about 45 degrees, it is. Achieving a throw where the fork is erect in the courgette is defined by either the 4 prongs piercing the courgette while the rest of the fork is touching nothing else, or the body of the fork is piercing the courgette in the same manner. This achieves 1,000 points and therefore wins the game. The player who erects the fork in the courgette must take a bite out of the courgette and therefore be declared the winner. You must do this by picking it up by the fork. As you can see, we did it earlier. Rule number 7. The game will last until a player achieves a target of 1,000 points or a traditional clock reaches 10:40 AM or PM. Should the fork land and remain touching the courgette, all participants must shout, "It is touching the courgette," in such a manner.
It is touching the courgette.
Should a player achieve a Forky Forky and the fork itself is touching the courgette, but not erect in it, the team of players must shout "Feely Feely" and proceed in a fashion as underlined in Rule 9. Rule 9. Should anyone achieve a Forky Forky as stated above, everyone should shout "Forky Forky" and dance in a clockwise direction while shouting "Forky Forky" in unison until the next place in the circle is reached.
Forky Forky. Forky Forky. Forky Forky. Forky Forky.
If an inverted Forky Forky is achieved, whereby the fork lands in the ground with the prongs pointing upwards, then players must dance anti-clockwise. A regulation Forky Forky throw is underarm and must be thrown upwards, and the fork must rotate at least 360 degrees, although you can do more for showmanship or forksmanship. Good forksmanship must be displayed at all times, so there are 3 disciplinary actions for any fouls that may occur. A. The pescatarian card. This is awarded to any player who threatens another Forky Forky competitor at any point. The punishment is the perpetrator has to sit out the game until another Forky Forky is achieved. B. The vegetarian card. This is awarded to any player who throws a fork in the vicinity, within a metre, of any other player, or throws the fork in an illegal manner, overarm, etc. The punishment is to sit out the game until the next Forky Forky is thrown and no alcoholic beverage is to be consumed. C. The vegan card. It's getting serious now. Same as the vegetarian card, but the perpetrator must remove an item of clothing and cannot replace this item until the game is finished, when the player attains 1,000 points or it gets to 1040. This card is deployed when a player hits another player with the fork. Rule number 12, or one of my favourite rules, all players must be consuming an alcoholic beverage during the game. Unless they're non-drinkers, they'll still have to drink some sort of beverage in their hand, but be prepared to be drunkenly berated. That's a can of Monster, you gay. Should injuries occur, injury time is employed. During injury time, the player injured is allowed to treat their melodies unless untreatable, and until then all players must switch to their weaker hands, so as to prevent an unfair advantage. The injured player must return to the game within 3 Forky Forkies or is therefore disqualified. Now, an impartial referee may be employed, but it's not necessary. It's expected that all players use reasoning and good forksmanship when employing the Forky Forky rules. At the end of the game, each Forky Forky player must kiss the courgette goodbye. Number 16 is a rule amended for Bloodstock, and it's no racism, or at least not as much. The last rule: after numerous questions on the matter, it's become necessary to clarify: when a winner is crowned and takes a bite from the courgette, spit or swallow. Always swallow, it's rude not to.
That's a massive bite.
So, go find some mates and have a game of Forky Forky. There is an official Forky Forky Facebook page, so if you do have a game, post some pictures or some videos up on there, share it with your mates, and look forward to seeing your forking events. Forky Forky.